You're listening to MicroPROgressions, FIT Writing and Speaking Studio tutors on thinking and thriving. I'm William, my pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a film and media student, and I'm a writing tutor at the Writing and Speaking Studio.
Hi, I'm Shruthi Natanmai. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm an advertising and marketing communications major and a writing tutor at the FIT Writing and Speaking Studio.
Yeah, so how are you feeling today, Shruthi?
I'm good, just chugging along with school and life. What about you?
Same here. It's funny, every time I ask people, like, how are you doing, just outside of, like, this podcast context as well, I don't really know what kind of answer I expect because everyone has been living the exact same lives for, like, the past, like, couple months.
Yeah.
I mean, the highlight of my day is just talking to other people, which is honestly rarer than I would like it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So the topic of today's episode is reaching out to classmates and building relationships in a remote environment. So Shruthi, how has your social life changed during the pandemic?
I think my social life has definitely become very lackluster during the pandemic. I feel like I would like to think of myself as a fairly extroverted and social person, but I don't know. I feel like social interactions virtually to me were initially a lot less appealing than seeing someone in person, or even something as simple as running errands with someone or getting coffee or anything like that. And so when everything was virtual, uh, I didn't really like it just because there was no boundary between what I was doing for school and then like Zoom birthday parties and things like that. It just felt like everything was blurring kind of. And so but I don't think any of us anticipated being in this situation for so long, but I think having been in this situation for so long, there's definitely perks to social life and social activities virtually. I think it's become a lot easier to plan things and just talk to people when otherwise they might have been busy or in a different state or country. So there's definitely that. But my social life could be better. But again, that's probably a common sentiment.
It's funny because, like, I feel like this is the most social I've ever been in a while. I don't know, maybe like back in kindergarten things were much better, but were there any changes from like your life as a student from being in person to now being like remote?
Obviously, it was different to not be able to see classmates and like in writing classes, do writer circles and edit each other's work. Like that sort of stuff was definitely different. But the overall content of the course was easily adapted to an online format. I think as a student, I personally really missed just the collaborative aspect of classes at FIT. Even outside my major, I feel like being in that space just allowed for a lot more exposure to what other students were doing, their projects, getting involved in other people's work, things like that, that is almost unique to FIT and I guess an art school experience. But yeah, I definitely found that to be more difficult to in an online format, but not impossible.
Yeah, and it's great that you mentioned that, like, it's not impossible because well, personally, I know that you've been very busy with a lot of different things, but so have I. Like, and we were able to meet during this online situation to begin with, starting
Yeah.
off as a writing tutor.
Well, I think our relationship is a perfect example of building a wholly new relationship in a remote environment because we've never actually held a conversation in person, which is crazy to think about because by the time you came to the writing studio, you only joined probably a month after me, but we'd been online. Um, at that point. So I think that's really interesting, and I now consider you one of my very good friends. So it's
Oh,
definitely not impossible to build these relationships online. But I mean, I can totally understand the hesitation behind it, or even the discomfort, just because I mean, it is a new thing, you know?
definitely. I think something that really helped us, just like really get to like just grow closer as friends too, is just the situation where we first met to begin with.
Hmm.
As peer tutors, we are trained and taught to be very welcoming and just very open minded to all different types of people. Especially when you're reading other people's works, when you like start like having sessions with them, you really get to see a more intimate, more introspective side to these people that you normally wouldn't be able to see in a first day of class icebreaker session.
Right.
And so because of that, I mean, like I know so much about you and vice versa now, just
Hmm.
just through our writing. And I know that's not something that may sound as appealing to students who may want to make some sessions at writing speaking studio. But just in terms of like being able to just reach out to people and share your ideas without feeling judged, I think that's such a blessing that we have. And not to be all like churchy here, but
No, I think that's very accurate. And even before we shared our writing, just that conversation that we had where
Mhm.
I think, I mean, a lot of us are in similar situations mentally, emotionally, just because of the current state of the world. So I think just talking too, just in the beginning of that session really helped us connect over things that we had in common, even if it was outside of the realm of school
Mm.
and writing, which I think is also a very valuable component to making appointments at the writing studio, is just being able to connect with people when that connection has kind of become hard to come by in a remote environment.
Brilliantly and beautifully said, as expected of Shruthi, the legend, the Tanmai.
Not the legend.
Thanks for listening to this episode of MicroPROgressions, FIT Writing and Speaking Studio Tutors on Thinking and Thriving. If you're a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology, we offer one-on-one consultations with writing and speaking tutors to help you develop and present your ideas, written or spoken.
You can schedule online appointments at fit.mywconline.com and find us on Instagram at FIT Write Speak.
Thanks for listening and tune in next time.